Let's create a budget. Let's get out of debt. Let's build wealth. Guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've been looking at some comments and reading about velocity banking, and there's a lot of different things that people think about when it comes to velocity banking. I've read comments such as, you're robbing from Peter to pay Paul, and like you can't pay debt with debt. So with velocity banking, essentially all that you're doing is you're refinancing. So if you own a house, after so many years you may want to refinance, whether that be a lower interest rate so that your payments are lower, or basically just to have more cash flow. By refinancing a loan that you're making the full high payments in the beginning. Now you're paying on a lower amount, so your payments will be lower every month. So let's say we were looking at a new car that cost $10,000 that you were financing for 5 years at a 5% interest rate. So your payment will be $188.71. So if you make that payment of $188.71 every month for 60 months, you will have this car paid off, and you would have been paying an interest rate of 5%. And this is what's known as an amortized loan. You basically have a set payment regardless of what the amount is. That payment's the same every month. And so what velocity banking, what you're actually doing is you have, say, like a personal line of credit of $10,000. You're going to chunk the $10,000 straight to that amortized schedule and pay that car off. So technically all you did was you transferred the debt from an amortized loan over to a simple interest loan. And the difference is, with the simple interest loan, you're basically paying interest on however much that loan balance is daily. It calculates daily. So that $10,000, as soon as you put the $10,000, you transfer it, pay the car off, there you are making your payments on that car. You couldn't stick any kind of extra cash into that car because you need that cash to pay your bills with every month. But in a loan like this, which is a revolving line of credit, and since you're paying interest daily, all you have to do is keep this balance as low as possible, and you can manipulate whatever that interest rate really is. You see, when you took out that loan on that car, and that loan was set at that amortized schedule, you don't have much control over it. Basically, the only control you have is sending an extra payment to that loan, and that extra payment that you send is limited to your cash flow. But once you transfer it over to, say, a line of credit, you have tons of options and tons of control. So if you had that $10,000 that you transferred to your line of credit, and that interest rate was 5%, right? You're going to pay 5% of $10,000 is $500. The difference is where your cash flow is all that you could send on an amortized loan, you can actually stick your entire income into this line of credit, right? And you can technically reduce the amount of interest you're paying. Now, how do you do that? Since it's a revolving line of credit, and money can go in and money can go out of that line of credit whenever you want. You can stick your mortgage, your rent, utilities, everything into the line of credit, lowering that balance and lowering the amount of interest you're going to be paying per day until you need the cash. Once your mortgage becomes due, you would then take that out, and it will increase a little bit, but only for the days that you've taken it out for that month. And then you do that each and every month, and it gives you more control over how much interest you're paying. So the difference is with the line of credit, as you send this cash into the line of credit, you could then take that cash back out of the line of credit in any time that you want. So anytime you want, put the money in there, hold it there for as long as you want, take it out, use it again whenever you need it. And with the car loan or amortized, once that money goes in there, you can't take it back out. So basically what's happening here is you are refinancing. Basically, that's basically what you're refinancing. But the biggest and the most advantage you have over velocity banking is the control, right? So if the money is going into the car loan, you can't put more money into that car because you need that money to pay other bills with, and you're paying that interest on that loan. So with the line of credit, you could stick all your income in there because you have the option of taking that income back out. And since that your interest is being calculated daily, the interest rate that you're refinancing at isn't what the interest rate is on the line of credit, because that interest rate will vary depending on how much the total balance on that line of credit is. So the fact that you're able to put your entire income into the line of credit and let it sit, it means that interest rate is going to be reduced lower and lower. So if you did stick your income in there, as soon as you do that, and even if it was for 2-3 days, you already lowered the interest rate. Naturally, you lowered it by 0.01%, because as soon as you do that, you have never paid that entire amount off all at once. So velocity banking, what is it? It's basically the ability to refinance a loan and to set an interest rate. It will never be higher than 5%. It'll always be lower. And your ability to control how long that you're able to put cash into that account and how long you're able to keep it sitting in there will determine what that interest rate is. So are you borrowing from Peter to pay Paul? In a way, yes. But you owe Paul 10% on the money you borrowed. And on Peter, you only owe him between 2 to 5%. So technically, it is what it is, right? You owe debt, and there's no way, you got to pay the debt regardless. The only control you have is how much extra you have to pay on that debt. And that's what velocity banking does. It gives you the control to be able to, in a way, kind of set your own interest rate. There is a cap, but you can always lower it. And by the more understanding you have on that, the more cash you're able to stick into that, then you have the control. And when you're looking at, do I want to take a loan from Peter or do I want to take a loan from Paul? Paul is a set loan. You have no options really, no penalties for paying it off early, but you have no flexibility in the loan. And then you look at Peter and he's like, hey, as long as you pay me back, the faster you pay me, I'm basically going to charge you per day, and Paul is like, here's your loan. It's a one-time loan. That's all you have. Peter's like, hey, pay me back. You can borrow again tomorrow. I mean, Peter and Paul are both pretty solid, happy dudes, but it's like everything else in life. You shop around for the best possible deal that you can get, right? And when Peter's sitting here saying, hey, he's a laid back guy, pay me back whenever you want, I'll charge you daily. As long as you pay me back, you can take it back again. And then you have Paul, laid back dude too, but he kind of got a little smirk on his face, right? Because he's like, hey, I'll give you this loan and you just pay me back. Well, if I pay you back, can I borrow again? Well, yeah, if you buy another car, so it's basically, there's really no argument when it comes to velocity banking, or when it comes to amortized versus simple, and a one-time loan versus a revolving. right? You always have that safety net there. You can always borrow. You look at it, which loan would you pick? So guys, I really hope that this video helped to kind of at least open your eyes or explain kind of why velocity banking is gaining so much traction and why it's becoming more and more popular. Because basically all it is the ability to control a loan, to choose what your interest rate is based on your knowledge of keeping money, parking it in a loan, and then taking it back out whenever you can. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you found some value in this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And if you subscribe, or if you're already subscribed, don't forget to turn on that notification bell. By turning on that notification bell, will alert you anytime there's a new video, so you never miss one. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.